The project aims to involve 150 farms in the Awakino River, Mokau River and Upper Amanga Kiwa catchments covering more than 183,000 hectares, creating 43 jobs and, of course, a further 20 trainees. Joining us now is coordinator for King Country River Care Group, Anna Nelson. Good evening.
Good evening, Sarah.
Now, I'm sure this has been a long process to sort of gather the herd around such a wide catchment of 183,000 hectares. Can you give us a bit of background to King Country River Care?
Yeah, sure. So I guess King Country River Care has been going for a few years, but about 2 years ago, it's a group of farmers, and they really said, look, we want to get to do a bit more, and we want to make a difference. So they formed an incorporated society, and they contracted me to do a wee bit of the work. They'd been doing it all as volunteers till then. Initially, it was in response to Plan Change 1 and some feeling that our farming perhaps wasn't that well represented. So there was a kind of a regulatory threat, I suppose, initially, and then it really evolved quite fast to become around our community and the well-being of our community and the environment and the people in it. So that was, I guess, where we began a couple of years ago, and we've always been quite strong on doing the right thing on farm and how do we help farmers do that and help our communities. So kind of fell into we worked with MPI and got a project up and running around planning, and were funded for that earlier this year, which really was getting farm environment plans and catchment plans and working together for the greater good for our community and our environment. And this 1 billion trees money was something that I guess it works in really nicely with the planning project that we've already got underway. So we're looking to use this money to basically kickstart some of the action plans that those farm environment plans have identified. So that's sort of how we get the 150 farmers, people that have done a farm environment plan and are willing to take some first steps or some more steps on their farms to do the right thing, and we're just looking to give them a hand with that, and 1 billion trees has come on board, so that's really exciting.
What were some of the challenges in being able to motivate farmers who didn't feel that they had a problem, but when it was a catchment challenge together?
I'm still working on that, so there's definitely farmers that are still not super motivated. I think probably the key for me is getting grassroots farmers driving it. So it's not about anyone from outside coming in and telling anybody how to do it. It's about working locally. So farmers they understand their own local issues the best, and working to find their local solutions and working with each other to learn. So what worked, what didn't work, they're usually more interested in what didn't work, and just taking those learnings and spreading them more widely. So I think it's all about that grassroots ownership of it, and taking ownership of the issues that we've got, and working together. King Country River Care can help, bring in a little bit of outside advice, or try and direct things where needed, or try and support farmers and communities where needed. But it's all about the communities, the people that are on the farm doing it, taking ownership and taking control.
Yeah, and talking about that outside advice across the industry, what sort of workshops and support have you been able to gather together, and what has been some of the most rewarding things for you as a coordinator as you've seen this momentum develop?
We're working quite closely with Beef and Lamb New Zealand. I did an RMPP facilitator training, and Beef and Lamb have been quite supportive with facilitator training as well. And then we're doing farm environment planning or land and environment planning with them, the workshops through Beef and Lamb. So that'll be the key industry group, I guess. But there's been a lot of sort of support and encouragement from other groups as well. Rewarding for me, to be honest, it's a little bit more around the communities and just seeing farmers, neighbours catch up with each other, meet each other, get over things that might have been an issue in the past, and kind of look to work together. So I think yeah, we've got heaps of challenges and heaps of work still to do, but that's what I enjoy. It's the people side of it, and just people that are actually enjoying dealing with something that's tough. This is really tough for all of us, but it's trying to make it more easy, more doable, and yeah, just making connections is what I like about it.
What makes your particular catchment of the Awakino and Mokau River catchments quite uniquely different? And do you believe that the government is now starting to understand that one size does not fit all?
Yeah, I think the government is starting to understand that, and I really hope that that's a message that we're all consistently saying. And I guess they do, because they're giving us some money to spend wisely, as Minister O'Connor put it. It's our issues probably around sediment and E. coli, which is not uncommon across the country, but those are probably what we've got to work with. And when you break that down into your smaller catchments, you can have a look at the different reasons why that's a problem. So it might be stream bank erosion somewhere, or might be something else on a different part. So we've broken our area up into 8 sub-catchments, and that makes it a smaller group of people coming together. And it's just looking, so I can't really give you an easy answer on that, because it's actually much more localised than even me. I kind of help those communities to help themselves a little bit, and to talk about identify their issues and learn about them.
I'm looking at the key deliverables here from 2020 out to 2030, and can I say politely, there's a hell of a lot of natives that you need. We've spoken on Serious Country in the past about it's all well and good throwing money, but we're short on a lot of seedlings and the skill set to be able to do so. How are you finding sourcing those so valuable native seedlings?
Yeah, we're having so far so good. We've got a local farmer who's doing a nursery business as well, which he started for his own use, but it's expanded. So, and there is a few nurseries around us that are scaling up at the moment. So we're always looking for opportunities to partner with others. So I think that there is quite a few people, or groups of people, looking at the opportunity of growing small plants. Funny, Mark Barracliff, who you had on before, we're working with him to do some of the planting. So he's got some labour that isn't always busy when it's raining, and so we've got something going on there. So it's, there's some real potentials when you work with other people and just try and find the synergies, I suppose. So at the moment, yes, I agree, it sounds like a lot of plants, but it does look pretty doable, yeah.
And talking about Mark Barracliff, I've done some work with Sandra Campbell down in the South Otago catchments. A lot of the Instagram stories have got some of that unused dagwall plant, for matting around these natives as well. And I shouldn't joke, because it should be worth more than that. But of course, great to see our natural fibre being used there. I think it's just so important that we celebrate the fact that these catchment groups are something that are going to be so valuable into the future for our communities. What are some of the other things that you're really seeing key community issues supporting rural communities by people coming together, which was initially a smack over the back of the head with a stick, but now can lead us into greatness?
Oh, yeah. So there's plenty going on. Tonight there was a lot of greenhouse gas and emissions, and how we look to integrate that successfully into our businesses. I think there's a lot about confidence. So how do we attract and how do we make it a viable business and a community for young people? So we absolutely need to build the confidence right across our communities. And so I think I love that catchment communities give a real chance for cross-sector, cross-industry approach. So, we can look for the strengths and the weaknesses across all of us, all the sectors that are in a small community, and work on bringing out the best in that, I guess. There's going to be challenges without a doubt where we don't always find it so easy. But, yep, the greenhouse gas one, soils, understanding soils more, Indigenous biodiversity, so on the land and in our water, and looking at that water quality one, definitely there'll be plenty more to come with that.
Oh, thank you so much, Anna Nelson. She's a coordinator there for the King Country River Care Group, for all that you've done for your particular area. And good luck for spending the $1.9 million wisely, as Damien O'Connor said. I know you will, and well done to that particular area.
This is Sarah's Country.